Yolanda Mabanga, and you are tuned into another episode of UBUNTU.biz. Now, I am so excited about this episode simply because I'm interviewing a very phenomenal young black farmer by the name of Mhlengi Ngcobo. Now, you know, in our world, us as the youth, we're all about self-determination, self-preservation, and self-interest. But he is one of those people who actually sticks out from the crowd. You know, they say that if you teach a man how to fish, they'll be able to feed themselves for a whole lifetime. Well, seeing as he's a farmer, if you teach him how to farm, he is able to feed a whole community for a lifetime. And I say that because while he's in this industry, he's actually mentoring young black farmers in the community on how to be self-sustainable, not just for them and their businesses, but also for their families, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And I'm so excited to see him, so do join me. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I've been wanting you on the show ever since it started. It's been months.
Yeah, close to a year.
It's been I told myself that there could be any other entrepreneur that's going to say no to me if ever they want to, but you cannot afford to say no to me because you're just worth the wait. So thank you so much for taking this time to talk to me. I was involved with this farming day that you were not really involved. I was just like the outsider looming in. And you've introduced this whole new farming to the people that you mentor. Yes, hydroponic farming. It's what it is, right? Yes. Can you please just elaborate further? Like, what is it in simple terms for a person like me?
In simple terms, yeah. In plain English, not using the terminology for the farmers. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the opportunity that you guys have granted me. It's a great platform to be invited. I believe that my work is actually doing the wonders now to get such opportunities. As you've said, it has been ages we've been postponing this interview. But to get into what is basically hydroponics farming. Hydroponics farming, it is where you plant but not using soil as your base. Me saying you're not using soil as your base, either you use sawdust, pine shavings, or you use just pure water. So even the name hydroponics, it is adapted from hydrogen oxide, which is water in simplest language.
Okay, for me, I find it so fascinating. I mean, hydroponic. How did you, as an individual, actually come about to know this sort of farming?
Honestly, I started as a farmer who used to use open field farmings, and then later on the stage where I started to find my feet, I started looking for new ways of farming. As you are aware that we're going green, people want to eat healthy, they want to live a healthy lifestyle. So hydroponics, it's one of those techniques that you can use to produce food organically, and it's the safest way, especially on the coastal regions due to high temperatures. So that is how I started researching and seeing these tents, which formerly they've been said to be greenhouses, and later on I found out it is actually a hydroponic system, a system where you use to plant or produce food or your crops without using any soil, but using pine shavings, sawdust, or just pure water, as the name is adapted from hydrogen oxide.
So it was basically self-taught. You saw houses and what looked like
like houses,
transparent houses, and you were like, oh, okay, I want to find out what that is.
Yes, that's incredible. It's just curiosity.
Yes, I mean, you don't get a lot of people who like are that curious to find out new things. So I think that's a very great trait to have.
Yes.
And I hope it continues to work out for you in the future.
Definitely. I believe I'm always scouting, looking for new opportunities.
That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. So, okay, you weren't born a farmer. I mean, you have all this wisdom. I mean, I thought you started with when you were in diapers. This farming, you got it from your parents. So.
Honestly speaking, I was born and raised in a family that was doing farming, but my family used to do farming just for home consumption and also to sustain their livelihoods. They didn't see it as how I see it, because I see it as a business. I see it bigger than what my grandparents used to see it, because in my family we used to have, I think, plus or minus 2 hectares of sugar cane.
Oh wow!
And for me, back in the days, farming, it was just a technique used to discipline us. If you came back late from school, you did something wrong. So so that did kill the love and the vibe for farming. It was all about, nah, this is not my thing. But honestly, what drove me into coming to hydroponics farming, it was my psychologist, because I'm also on depression and anxiety. Yeah. So I was struggling to face reality with whatever that I was going through at that time. And my psychologist said, Mhlengi, as much as you feel like you're suffocating, and we've tried everything on the book, on my side, from the medicine side, how about you use nature to heal you? And I think farming has been healing me constantly. And as I did mention on my conversation with my mentees earlier today, that some people, they might think I have it all by the age of 23, but they necessarily don't know what I lost at the age of 16. So it's not just about me farming, but it's about me healing my soul, being at peace. So farming keeps me going. Farming to me, it's therapeutic. Farming to me helped me fight depression. This is basically my depression and anxiety pills.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah.
That's very deep.
Yeah.
So you can safely tell me that it's not because you were born wanting to be a farmer.
No. I've never thought that one day I'll be a farmer. I've never seen the agricultural sector as a career that I will shift to.
So what did you want to do?
Honestly speaking, it was all about being a policeman or flying aeroplanes, but something different, nothing related to agriculture. And life did shift me to going into agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please take me through this journey of you mentoring people within your community and surrounding areas with introducing them into farming, and tell me all about that.
A lot of people have been asking me about that. Some people feel like I'm doing it maybe to get money through people, but for me, it's just me saying I'm here to serve a purpose, and I believe after fighting and winning the fight over depression, which many people fail to fight to win. Let me serve my purpose. Let me play my role in changing the livelihoods of people who come from underprivileged communities, who come from informal settlements. Understanding the current economy that we're facing as South Africa, where there's a high unemployment rate of youth, there's a high number of teenage pregnancy. People are suffocating from losing their jobs, and then they fall into social ills, consumption of alcohol. Some families, they are youth-headed families, and unfortunately, we have reached a stage whereby there are less opportunities of employment, but people can be taught a skill whereby they can employ themselves and also employ others. Because honestly speaking, we are at a stage whereby it's not about what you studied for, it's not what qualification you have, but it's a matter of what you can bring on the table, which is a skill.
Yeah. And so how many people, can you actually put a number as to how many people you've actually introduced farming into and make them self-sustainable so that they can actually operate without you being present?
I think you also witnessed the number we had today. It was a big number.
Large
it was above
number.
70.
I'm telling you.
It was above 70, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm close to, I'll say in between 700 to 800 people that I've trained. In total.
Like that you've helped in your life?
Ever since I started my these trainings, which are last year I was also recognized by the KwaZulu-Natal Youth Business Awards as the best social entrepreneur. So yes, I do have an award.
I'm telling you, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So do you get like any monetary response from anyone, like donations, as far as, because obviously you need money to do these programs, and of any, like when you first started, let's talk about that. What form of income did you have to start generating these programs that you put together for the youth?
Honestly speaking, I haven't found a person who is willing to support me financially or with resources regarding me to execute these trainings for people who come from underprivileged communities in informal settlements and also informal settlements. But what has been pushing me is that, as I've said, that farming for me it's therapeutic. So seeing someone's life change to something big, good, seeing someone being able to sustain his or her livelihood through the knowledge that I've passed down to them, to me it's everything that I could wish for. So it's enough. It's enough.
Like
I'm not saying I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't accept any cash from there. So, but I'm not. It's not a project that's profit driven. It's just there as to motivate and also to change the narrative. For the longest time, people have been thinking that farming is for a certain race, for a certain gender. As we are aware that farming, it's a male-dominated industry. So I'm trying to get in more young people to tap into the industry. That, guys, it is possible. No matter your skin color, no matter your background, it is possible as long as you have passion for it. And passion will drive you beyond your capabilities. I've seen it. I've seen it.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And what different aspects have you ventured into in farming besides hydroponic?
I started as an open field farmer where I was just planting on soils, and then later on I shifted into going to hydroponics farming, and we are slowly venturing into animal production, but we're still mastering.
Okay.
We still want to make sure that we have all the necessary information, because it's very important to educate yourself before going into something. So I'm hoping by end or towards the end of this year we'll be going all in layers production, chickens that produce eggs, not broilers that for chickens for consumption, but layers chickens for eggs production. I'll really love to go into that towards the end of this year. And I'm also trying to tap into the macadamia market. Unfortunately, it's still it's not yet fully something that is working, because it's a long process. It's one of those long investment that I have in my name, because macadamia, they can take you plus or minus 6 years before you see your first harvest. So yeah, that has been all of that.
Oh, okay. And why do you think it's so important to teach young people at the youngest age now, to help them understand that it's not just about farming now, it's also about entrepreneurship? Why do you think that is?
Being a person who is a Zulu man, I'm a man now.
Of course.
Is Zulu City ugotsha usemanzi. So the earlier or the sooner we teach them, it's going to be more easy to get or drill the information through them. Because for the longest time I've been telling people that it's not because as black people we're not capable of being successful farmers. It's because we lack information.
Yeah.
There's been stereotype around farming, and also we lack resources, and also information and knowledge, which is the same thing. So yeah, the sooner the better. The sooner the better. I really don't have to wait at a later stage whereby someone has completed their degree, completed their matric, and then I can start putting in this idea. At an early stage, you should start seeing agriculture as a business, not just see.
So you already have plans for your children. You're probably going to make them start in diapers already.
If God does bless me with kids, but I'll definitely, I'm not saying I'll push them into going to farming. I'll be a supportive parent. I'm praying because I know in the back of my mind that I'll push them to go into farming. But I'm praying that I'll be a supportive parent to support them into whatever they choose, as long as it will meet that current economic needs. Because one thing that we should also consider is to look at what our market is looking for. We've got a number of people who are qualified teachers, so we should shift now, go into something which there's a shortage in. There's a shortage of people who are producing food, and there will never be a time whereby people will wake up and choose not to eat food. So we need to maximize food security. We need more young farmers, especially black farmers. People, they shouldn't fear ukulima. Being a farmer doesn't mean to uzohlalela njologa.
And that you shouldn't limit it within the business or your family. You need to like venture out and explore new things.
Yeah. You should explore a lot of things. Agriculture is broad. It's not better I did mention a couple of points during the seminar. Value chain. We've got the marketing team, we've got production, which is us, we've got people who deal with transport and logistics. As soon as you harvest, they say, right, I need someone to transport it. But before they take it from my farm, I need someone to market the produce to the buyer. So we've got abantu and procurement, we've got people who deal with safety and health. Okay, your food is ready. It's good to be consumed by people and stuff. So there's a lot within the agri space. We need people who are qualified as accountants, because agriculture, it's a business. So we need to understand how money should be. We need to be taught discipline towards our capital, especially business capital, because that's one of the challenges we're facing as black entrepreneurs. We tend to consume cash that the business doesn't even have. We focus more on liabilities less on assets. So
and for a farmer that's watching this at home and they want funding, what advice would you give them?
Honestly speaking, it's everyone's dream to get funded to that particular concept they have in the back of my mind, or that vision. But we have reached a stage whereby government, I've been supporting you guys through our startups, helping you start your business from scratch. But most of those businesses collapsed because we have now to interfere and into most we partner. So now Hulumen is all about, let me see what you've done and then I'll meet you halfway. So whoever is who is sitting at home is looking to go into farming in whatever aspect or sector within the agri space, as I've said, it's broad. Do not wait for funding. Start small and dream big, and then you get somewhere.
Speaking of Ukjuluka, I just heard you say that. I've actually encountered some of your social media posts where you've had the worst experience or something in farming. Like, what was the one biggest challenge where you were just like, okay, as in, I might just stop.
Let me drop the ball. This is not me. This is not it. I think one of the biggest challenges was tapping into an industry that I'm not well informed of. That itself, that was a challenge. But I did try to penetrate that and seek knowledge and also do farm visit. And as soon as things started picking up, seeing my plants growing, and we were hit by the pandemic. Okay, at first we thought the pandemic was really going to affect us as farmers, but only to find out that less food was coming into South Africa. So we're like, oh, okay, this is our...
Oh, so it actually worked.
It did work at first. And then later on, and it was not only just food that was not coming in from other countries, but even manure, fertilizers, your compost and stuff. So local prices started going up. So it was just more like you were moving in circular motion. When the profits and cool, but so it was one of those challenges. And also working in a community that knows your background. For most of us black people, especially in black communities, we still fear seeing someone else prosper in what they do. And being a young person, because I remember at that time I was 21 or going to 22, I'm not too sure. And then I was attacked during the July unrest. I think it was 23 last year. I was
attacked?
I was attacked during the farm was attacked during the July unrest.
What did they do?
They actually burned down the tunnels, and the tunnels had production. I think we only had like 2 or 3 weeks before harvest, and we lost the whole production. They tampered with one of the tractors that I had at that time. They did something to the engine, so it was a whole mess. But later on, I found out that it was not about the July unrest, because everyone was just going to shops to loot. Why you don't steal these crops but you want to destroy them? So it was just personal agendas, as I've mentioned, that our people hate seeing someone who their own prospering in whatever field that they're in. I think for the longest time we've been servants, and seeing people now that people are start taking over, we feel like, hey, so yeah, because tunnels are not cheap. A system is very expensive. Plastic is structure. Okay, structure is salama beams, but I lost I think 80% of the production. I lost 80% of the production. It was me just going back. Even on my socials, if you were to go back, I think it took me close to 6 to 7 months. And then I started posting about farming. During that phase where I was not posting about anything, I was just there sitting at home trying to regroup myself, restructure myself.
Wow.
So I think I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've seen the ups of it. I've also seen the downs in a space of less than 4 years.
That is hectic. But you come out stronger than ever.
Yeah, I think if it was something I would have not survived it. But because that is why I came back stronger. You can see the lettuce.
I can see the quality. I'm telling you, it looks beautiful. It's lovely. Yes. So how many people have you employed in this place alone?
Okay, in this place alone, we've currently got 3 permanent employees, and then we've got 5 seasonal ones.
Okay.
Because each project I try to allocate its own budget. So on this one, this is our first production. So maybe if we get a good harvest, but I'm seeing a good harvest, if we get a good harvest, then we can expand the number of permanent employees, maybe take it to 5, and then we do have seasonal employees, and then we have interns. Currently we do have 5 interns, which some specialize on plant production and some also specialize on farm management. So they are here to do their work integrated learning.
So how many workers do you have in total besides this plot alone? Oh wow, is it too many to count?
I think all in total, to talk about permanent people who have been who are there full time in all the projects that I'm currently running at this moment, we've got 19.
Oh, wow.
19,
yeah.
Because we're still picking up.
That's still picking up.
Yeah. I think we have 19 families that survive through these projects, and then we have seasonal people who come through harvesting or through planting or through extensive labor where we're doing our sprayings, or we need to control some disease and stuff. There's a lot that goes on, but they come seasonally, not permanently.
So what's the best advice that you've been given ever since you've started what you've started?
I think I'm going to say it for the third time today. The best advice that a wise man once told me, another guy who mentors me, who's been there throughout my journey, he said, Mr. Ngcobo, don't do farming for money, but if it doesn't do money, drop it. So basically he was all about money. You shouldn't be driven too much on making profit through this. Yes, in the back of your mind you do want to make profit. That's the honest truth. We all want to sustain our livelihoods. But if it's going to be profit driven, you're gonna fail, because you as I've mentioned earlier on, agriculture is a school of patience. It requires one to be patient with the crops. You cannot plant today and tomorrow you're harvesting. So if you're gonna be doing this for you see this a quick money making scheme, that's not for you. That's not for you, and you face a lot of challenges there. I think in Durban, a couple of farmers that I know who were about to harvest, I think some had like less than a week, couple of days, maybe a month, good production, they lost it all in less than a day through those floods. So if it's a very risky industry, to be brutally honest. It's a very risky industry.
And that time on social media, they make it look so glamorous.
We do have people who farm on social media. Farming is it's something that you need to do here on the ground. Farming, it's not about having followers, fans and stuff.
And beautiful green.
Yes. Farming, it's about producing the best quality. That's the only competition we're looking for. And this thing of people saying farming, we should make it fashionable, I'm all up against it. Because I feel like fashion, it's a trend, something that's more like a wave that's going to hit us and then the next thing is gone. So I feel like there's going to be a number of people who are going to tap into the industry just for good pictures and followership and to boost their fans.
Just in the attire.
In the attire and boost their fans, their followers. And then as soon as the wave is gone, they're gone. But we should see farming as something, we should make farming sustainable. Because it should provide income for ourselves, provide income for people that we hire, develop our rural communities through these projects. Because I wouldn't choose to hire someone who's 600 kilometers away from me. The same people who are within the community, I'm going to empower them through this project. They're going to be able to sustain their livelihoods and their families through this. So it's not about fashion. It's not a fashion show. It's not the Dip in July.
This is not the Dip in July.
Yes, I do have, what do they call this thing where umuntu walks, models? It's more like you're walking in that thing. But fashion show.
So I think because you just answered my last question, but in case you didn't, do you have any last words for someone who's actually watching on the other side who wants to be a farmer and also be an entrepreneur in this space? Like, what would you tell them?
What I would tell that person who's looking to tap into the industry is that come with all the guns that you have and make sure that you have enough bullets, because you're going on a war zone. You're going to be fighting negativeness. You're going to be fighting corruption of our system. You're going to be fighting people who are going to be fighting betrayal. You're going to be fighting fly-by-night people who are going to be coming to trying to assist you. You're going to be fighting a lot of external factors, because people, they will do anything to pin you down, to bash you, bad name you, drag your name. And so come with all the guns that you have and make sure that you have enough bullets, because you're going on a war zone. Equip yourself with enough knowledge. Equip yourself with enough knowledge and have passion for this. Passion will always drive you beyond your capabilities. Don't go big at first, start small but dream big.
very profound. I was never ready for that response, but thank you for the honesty. And I hope whoever's watching this is actually going to take that in, because you have made it so very clear. It's not a walk in the park.
Yeah, it's not a walk in the park. It's not.
I wish you all the best with the future ventures that you do, Mhlengi, and hope that we can get to do this again in the future.
Anytime.
You say that like you're available, huh?
Even by text, I hardly respond. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for honoring me with the invite. I'm glad I came through.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's be realistic here. We are still a youth who are very much new into this world of entrepreneurship. So we really need to hold each other's hands as we journey along this venture, because to be honest, we don't all entirely know what we're doing. So it is important to have people like Mhlengi Ngcobo, especially if you want to be a farmer, to guide you when they have such mentorship programs. As long as you put in the effort, you go to the location where he is available and ready to teach you, so that we can all just move forward and just learn more, get more wisdom, so we can grow and proceed, right? Yeah. Now, of course, if you know of any other entrepreneurs, please let me know down here below. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram and on Facebook as Yolanda Mabanga. But until I get to do this again, from me, it is goodbye.